is my birthday today. I totally thought about doing 30 things you need to know by the age of 30, but then I realized, you know what? I just want to focus on the main points. Something I realized as I got older is that friendships change. Even the friends where I thought we will be best friends forever, things change. And there's 3 reasons why things change. The first thing is they change because we get busier. And there's this running joke for millennials that friendships are literally just you trying to say, hey, we should catch up, and now 6 months have passed and you have not caught up. But there are some friendships that are low maintenance where you can go 4, 5, 6 months not seeing each other, but when you do hang out, it's like no time has passed. But you are spending a lot of that time catching up. So it's more of like, how have you been? How has work been? Rather than like, I see you all the time, I know what your day is like, I know what your relationship is like. It's different. Someone moves, either you move or they move. I have a lot of friends from my high school where we still connect and talk, and they're within arm's length in terms of distance, but I did move churches. So when my husband and I got married, we ended up moving to a different church, and that's when I noticed a lot of my friendships changing. I'm realizing more and more that there are a lot of friendships where you start to see, you know, your bestie hanging out with somebody else every day, like they are literally living with your friend on a day-to-day basis, and you've become just a catch-up person. You're not their person anymore, and vice versa. I'm sure they see it that way too, and it is a little sad. It's kind of like you're mourning a little mini loss, even though they're still in your life. And I say that with a smile because part of growing up, it happens, especially if you don't live as close as other friends. But at the end of the day, you know you still have each other's backs. And lastly, we change, or your interests change. So whether it was BTS related or it's all of my workouts, you know, those are the people I see more often based on the hobbies that we have. The next thing I realized in my 30s, I mean, I knew this before, but it's really hitting a lot harder, especially if you have immigrant parents. It's actually a role reversal that happens where your parents are starting to get older and you start to feel like you are the parent, you are the adult, and you're figuring out ways to help take care of your parents, helping them with technology. No longer do you rely on them, but there are more opportunities for them to want to rely on you. And that was a shift that happens where you realize, I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I felt role reversal at a very young age, but now that I'm in my 30s, I definitely feel it a lot more. But I'm just so thankful that my parents are still around. At the end of the day, no matter how stressed I am or how worried I am, at least I get to worry about them, that they're still around and that they're still here. Because I know for so many families that is not the case. But trust me, I am also navigating not knowing how to handle all of that. Leaving and cleaving and getting married, but then also worrying about my parents. Next, being healthy is a lifestyle and it is a choice. You have a choice of whether you want to incorporate fitness and eating well into your life or not. But the sooner you start, the easier it becomes. You want to prevent health issues, not just manage them when they happen later. They say your body keeps developing in your 20s and your body just starts to decline, but I am trying to mitigate that. All the workouts that I do and making sure I stay healthy, so we are slowing down that process. Especially in America, it's expensive to eat healthy, but there are actually easy and convenient ways to eat healthier, and I actually use Thrive Market. They are kindly sponsoring this portion of this video today. Thrive Market is an online membership-based grocery store, and their mission is to make healthy living easy and affordable for literally everyone with guaranteed savings on every single order. I love grocery shopping online because I don't need to hunt for things in the aisles. I can just search for it. And Thrive Market has some of my favorite brands like Purely Elizabeth granola or Chosen Foods avocado oil, because not all avocado oil is the same. I did compare prices from other grocery stores just to see if I'm really saving money, and it really is more affordable. But as a Thrive Market member, you'll save on every single order of the highest quality organic and sustainable products, and if you do find a lower price somewhere else, they will match it. You also get free shipping on orders over $49. So click the link in my description and go to thrivemarket.com/Maya Lee to get 30% off your first order and a free gift worth up to $60. So definitely check it out. These are some of the things that I bought on Thrive Market, and they don't only have, you know, produce and grocery items, they have household items too. So there's a lot for you to look around and see what you find and save money. I got married at 30, but you won't know for sure who you want to marry until you know who you are as a person. I dated my husband for 7 years. Do I recommend dating for 7 years? No, but you need to know what you like, what you don't like. What kind of person are you when you're angry, when you're sad? You have to know yourself before you start dating other people and figuring out, who is going to be a great partner who will come alongside you and really live this life with you. And marriage is not always butterflies and rainbows. It's hard work because you are meshing two lives together and you are very different people, no matter how similar you think you are when you're dating. But they also will shape you and change you in the best way possible. Make sure that it's someone that it's worth being better for. Next tip is it's okay to start over. No matter what age you are, it's okay to start over and to try something new. It does not mean that everything that you've experienced so far has been a waste, because at that time you made the best decision with the information that you had, and that was the best that you could do. Many times when I look back and I think I should have made this other decision, that was just the best decision I could make with the information I was given at that time. If someone from the future gave you totally different information, then yeah, you might do something different. None of us have that. So for me, I just make sure I am prayerful and I'm making God-honoring decisions. Next, speaking of careers, this is going to depend on what job you have. It actually does not benefit you to stay at your company for more than 5 years, because at that point, you have accumulated so much experience. For many people, your salary has not jumped to where it needs to be because you came in when you were at a different level. Most people will move and have higher salaries when they move because you could come in at a higher rate. Or you can get an interview, take that rate, and show your current employer, this is what I'm worth right now. But don't be afraid to do those things. Many of us like to be comfortable. We like safety and we like familiarity, but you're not going to grow if you don't do scary things. I had my teaching job right out of college and I stayed there the whole time before I decided it was time to leave. And I really wish I took some time to try other schools, but I ended up leaving and now I'm at another school doing a totally different role. But you won't ever fully start over from nothing, because every time you're moving, you are building up on different experiences. Probably one of the biggest tips I need to tell myself and to you, do not follow the timelines set by society. When you should be married by, when you should have a senior position by, when you should have a baby. All of these things, remember that at the end of the day, you are the one that is going through all of the responsibilities of doing that. There's a lot of pressure that has been created by society, and it's not even biblical. It's just truly, this is what a majority of people do, so then it's normal and everybody else should do it. We have our own lives, and so much of my high school career and college years were spent thinking, how come I feel like I started from -20? I was negative steps ahead because I had to take out student loans. I had to figure everything out on my own, and I just felt like the people who got to have kind of like a jump start or got catapulted into a direction, it's easy to compare, but everybody has their own journey, and the Lord is sovereign over our lives, and He knows exactly why we go through what we go through, and we just need to trust and believe that it's going to be okay. Speaking of timelines and society, next point is buying a house is a personal choice. It is not something that you must do. It is very much sold as the American dream, but buying a house is a personal choice, and there are so many financial people I follow who still rent because they have their money working in other ways. Doing your research and seeing, do you only want to buy a house because people say that is the form of stability? Because there's so many other ways to be more stable or to be financially literate with your money. But make sure if you do want to buy a house, it is a choice that you are okay with, you're okay with the responsibilities, and you have the funds for an emergency that could happen. I know I don't want to be house broke where we put all of our money into a house and then something happens. I need to be very mindful that we don't use all of our cash into a property. So I do invest in the stock market to make sure that our finances are still growing in some way. Continuing on with finances, it is very important, especially when you're younger, to learn more about financial literacy. I wish I didn't waste all those years spending my refund checks on Forever 21 clothes. I should have put it into a Roth IRA, or I should have bought some index funds. The hardest part is starting, but once you start and you kind of understand how it works, you then can easily want to invest more because you're going to see results. And that is when you're like, oh, okay, I feel confident in this. But it's just the initial start that's scary because you're like, I don't know what's happening. But make sure you do your research before you put your money in anywhere. So I have a Roth IRA with Fidelity, and I actually opened it in 2020. So it's been 4 years. And then I have a traditional brokerage with YouInvest with Chase. I also invested in 2020. So I started in my mid-20s. Definitely wish I started earlier. Even if it's $50, $100, just start with what you can. Next, if you're thinking about getting a dog, do not get a dog if you do not have a job and you are the sole provider, because it's a lot. And a dog is like a forever baby, and you want to give your dog the life they deserve. When I first got Bam Bam, he broke his leg, and that cost $1,000 in the emergency room. He is a bundle of joy, and I love him so much, but now I'm at a state where I can really take care of him very well. But when I was younger, I needed my parents. So definitely, if you're thinking about getting a dog, make sure that you can give the dog the life they deserve. They are the sweetest animals. Next, limit buying really cheap clothes. So even when I go to Korea and I'm shopping around Hongdae, I tend to not get the clothes that I know isn't going to last me a very long time. Yes, in that moment, it may be $10 or $12, but then for you to have to replace items so often, it really adds up. So it's better to get higher quality clothes that are going to last longer. Right now, for me, I tend to usually shop at Lululemon, Aritzia, or I just buy secondhand clothes from Mercari, especially if they still have the tag on them. Those items have lasted me a very long time. Second to last tip, wear sunscreen. You need to be wearing sunscreen. It really helps with anti-aging. And in Korea, they actually don't use a lot of retinols because they don't need it. They don't need to undo, any damage that's been done to their skin because they prevented it from happening to begin with. Even if it's a cloudy day, there are still UV rays that are going to impact your skin. And at my age, I'm starting to get sunspots. I never had those before. I am getting a lot more moles than I ever have before. Lather on that sunscreen, reapply, do all the things. I love Korean sunscreen, and I'll make sure to link some of my favorites down below. There are 4 that I cycle through because I just like all of them. Lastly, a lot of people think in your 30s your metabolism slows down, but actually it doesn't. We just are not moving enough. When you think about our college years, we're walking to class. Our class could be 20 minutes away and we are just walking everywhere. We are a lot more active. After class, we go hang out with some friends, but you go and you're just on your feet moving a lot more. And you have jobs that are part-time jobs where you are standing and mopping the floors. Now we have desk jobs and we're in front of a computer 8-9 hours a day. Also in your 30s, you have a little bit more money saved up, able to afford eating out a little more often than you were when you were a college kid, eating Chinese takeout. So we're eating a lot more, not moving a lot. All of that adds up. People are really big on getting 10,000 steps a day. I will say I've tried to do it every single day. Even when I go run 2 miles, it's not 10,000 steps. So I have a walking pad, but you want to find ways to increase your movement. So my husband and I, we always take the stairs instead of the elevators now. And if I have to park a little bit further and walk inside the grocery store, just find the first spot that you see, park it and go. But these are all ways we can incorporate a lot more movement into our lives and finding a routine that works for you. I love being in my 30s. 30s, I still feel very young. You don't have to have it all figured out because I'm still figuring things out. That is character development and growth, and I don't think we'll ever feel like we've arrived. I also never say like, I am successful. I feel like I'm just constantly on this journey of growth. Just be grateful and thankful for the days that we get to have. And I'm so thankful for you guys. Thanks for spending my birthday with me. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe and comment down below because that really helps me and the YouTube algorithm. Bye!